was your reaction to the hire of Doug Pederson?
Phenomenal hire, home run. I went crazy when Doug Pederson got let go from Philly. I was like, look, this is not the coach's issue, right? And great job by Sirianni getting that team to the playoffs, and they built guys and developed. But ultimately, this is a home run for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Reason being is because number one, development of a quarterback, but number two, the ability to adjust. You won a Super Bowl with your backup, and you understood what it took for him to be at his best in a playoff run, and you beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Obviously, you're going to get a tremendous amount of kudos from that. And look, let's not disregard the elephant in the room. Every time a white coach is hired, we will have a conversation about when and if. But that does not take away the fact that a lot of these guys that have been hired and filled these roles that are white coaches are very good football coaches. Yeah. And they earn and deserve these opportunities as well. But this will always be a convoluted conversation going forward through this hiring cycle because of what we know is going on in the NFL right now with minority coaches.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it. Dan, what does this mean for Trevor Lawrence?
It's a huge signing for Trevor Lawrence. You know, I was like, a little bit with Marcus. I kind of was excited to see Byron Leftwich get that job. I think for the Jaguars, they really had three specific things that they had to get done this offseason. Hire an offensive-minded head coach to develop Trevor Lawrence, build an offensive line, and get better skill position people. So step one of the three-step process has happened. Yeah. You know, Laura, I think speaking specifically to Doug Pederson, you go back and watch the development of Carson Wentz, who was a highly drafted quarterback that was super talented. The thing that he did so well was play to Carson Wentz's strength. Really smart player, get the ball out of his hands. But then I'm interested because, Marcus, you say home run hire. I think it is if Doug Pederson shows what he learned, Carson Wentz from going MVP caliber to the worst quarterback in the NFL. I'm not saying it was all on Doug Pederson. The player has some hand in that.
Absolutely.
But what did he learn when it comes to his impact on that situation from Carson Wentz in 2020? I think that's really important for the growth of Trevor Lawrence. I think the best impact that it will have on Trevor Lawrence is this. If you watched Trevor last year in that offense, it was an offense one week, and then it was in a different offense the next week, and then a different offense. I think it will be much more of a consistent scheme for him that he can really build a foundation and take off in.
I agree with everything you guys said about sort of Pederson, his history of coaching quarterbacks, what it means for Trevor Lawrence. My only hesitation, and it has nothing to do with Doug Pederson, is, as Dan just said, this is just step one in the Jaguars offseason. And part of the reason it's been reported that it took so long to get to this point with Pederson, who they interviewed a month ago, is the ongoing questions about the Jaguars front office, their decision to retain, apparently, Trent Baalke, and those other steps that you mentioned are personnel ones. I mean, this is a team with the first overall draft pick, a ton of cap space. Ideally, they could start fixing some of the holes on this roster, but I think there's reasonable skepticism about their ability to do so, given what we've seen from this team over the last couple of years.
MK, I love your point, because to me, it's similar to when you get your quarterback.
Right.
Like, how are we going to build this thing?
Yeah.
Like, coaches need that same opportunity. They need that same kind of energy from the front office, because we all know it's a rebuild in Jacksonville.
And it's got to happen together.
And it's got to, step by step. So I think that was a great point you made about like getting these coaches in these particular situations. The front office has as much onus on them to surround him with what you need as he tries to get Trevor Lawrence what he needs.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.